Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to talk about, sorry, I had to get my positioning right. In this video, I would like to talk about my thoughts about One Piece and honestly, just the whole topic on Luffy's Devil Fruit power being awakened and what its true abilities could be. Just like this top saying NASA, I'm going to talk about all the possibilities of what Luffy's power can do when awakened. One Now, the main thing I would like to say is when people talk about Luffy's awakening, it'll be mainly just the fact that Luffy's power, since he's a paramecia though fruit ability user, it's just the fact that honestly, I feel like it's not just rubber manipulation where it's like he's going to turn a whole room or all the environment around him into rubber. It's not always going to be like that. It's not always going to be like the factor of Luffy being another Katakuri or Luffy being another Doflamingo. I mean, it's a strong possibility since he's like a Devil Fruit user. However, at the same time, I mean, a Paramecia type Devil Fruit user. But at the same time, however, it's just the fact that, look, honestly, awakenings can come out in various different ways. And Oda kind of like displayed that in various ways as well, too. One good example is zone types for a good example. Shoot, if his awakening does get turned on in zone, it honestly does like put more emphasis on my whole theory and thoughts on the different types of like possibilities of what his Dofru can do in awakened form. The first possibility is, aside from like environment manipulation, it would be just body manipulation itself. Zone types, honestly, in a sense, when they get like awakened, their awakening is like just mainly just brute strength, more increase in brute strength to an increase in honestly like recovery or recovery factor or basic or regeneration factor where it's like if they take in damage they'll just regenerate that, or their ability is way more stronger than usual at base form in whatever type of zone type format that they're at. Now, my thing with Luffy being like that is because of the fact that, well, with the Gum Gum no Mi being used mainly physically in various type of ways, it's just the fact of, well, rubber, especially in comics, like for example, Marvel with the Fantastic Four, or I may dare say, arguably even the Incredibles when the Incredibles 2 came out, the second Incredibles. Miss Incredible has shown this, and on top of that, people from the media have pointed out the fact that Reed Richards from Marvel Comics, with their like awakened ability, per se, their awakened ability, if I may say it like that correctly, Reed. I'm going to start from the bottom and then again go to like the smallest details that I've seen in Incredibles. For Reed Richards, for a good example, people in media have pointed out the fact that Reed can honestly either shapeshift his like body when pushing his rubber like ability to the brink. Another good example of this is also just the fact that honestly is also another fact that honestly, what's the word? Well, aside from just rubber manipulation of shape shifting, is also just the fact that he can honestly just manipulate his body to be different textures in a sense. And now that I think about it, I think Plastic Man from DC Universe might count as well, even though his body is made out of like elastic, like plastic slash rubber. It's still the fact of, well, the dude can stretch, and the dude can do various ways as well too that anyone from the rubber or elastic family can do, like Luffy, Mr. Incredible, or Mr. Fantastic. So he does count in the list as well too. But I'm going to get to him as a third person. Now, when I'm talking about like texture manipulation with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, it would be just the fact of, well, aside from shape shifting physically, it's also the fact that he can basically turn his body into different types of form of weapons, such as his hand. He could turn into a mace, like make it all spike, make his hand all spiky or arm spiky, may I dare say. And then on top of that, he can also just honestly just shapeshift his body into different weapons in various ways, wherever he wants. And in some ways, he has shown that he can condense his body as well too, and in a sense as well too, into that weapon of some sorts, as long as he stretches or pushes his body the right way. Now, Miss Fantastic, the small details that I would like to point out about her and her, like, I guess pushing her limits with stretching would be just the fact of, well, I'm going to first go out off the basics of like Incredibles 2. Just the fact that Miss Incredible, she stretches her body to the point where in the in some type of contraption with the Underminer like drill, she was literally stretching her body to be inside the crevices of the cogs that was like honestly powering the whole machine to her whole brink, because she was really stretching out her body a lot in the cogs of that machine, many ways than one, just to try to cog up the machine, kind of like if you put just a piece of gum in the cogs of the machine, or maybe tar in the machine, and you try to gunk it up, like the cogs of the machine, so it won't work properly, or it might blow up or implode in various ways. That's what she was doing by stretching her body to the brink inside of Underminer's drill machine. Another good example in Incredibles 2 would be just the fact of she manipulated her body to do two like straight up like unique strange things that I don't think we arguably ever seen. One, she in the first Incredibles movie, she may have like flattened her body maybe once or twice in that movie to the point where she's like a sheet. But aside from that like feat is also the fact that she did honestly manipulate her body to be like a parachute of some sort in like the second one, where honestly when the people were in trouble in that subway, she stretched out her body like a parachute. Another good example would be honestly in the first movie when she took her kids, Violet and Dash, to that one abandoned island where Syndrome was at. She turned herself into some type of boat where honestly everybody can basically just ride on her through the sea until they made it to honestly just like abandoned island altogether. Now that's all the like what's the word? I think that's all of mainly Miss Incredible's limitations, or pushing her limitations, that I can point out when it comes to her uniqueness. Now, Plastic Man limitations from DC Universe. The one feat that I had to point out when it comes to just him and his like physical manipulation being pushed to the limit would be just the fact that, well, long story short, Batman's Dark Metal. The only reason why I bring up reference Batman's Dark Metal is because, well, long story short, Plastic Man was in a fetal position at one point in time, but then honestly, in the midst of everything, when shit got real and the whole like run of Batman's Metal, he just came out real serious and was just about to wreck everybody who was evil in that one situation, by honestly getting out that fetal position and manipulating his whole, literally his whole entire body to be different things that were dangerous. He manipulated his hand, I think, to be like a T-Rex. His different upper body parts, like his chest and maybe his arms mainly, as honestly a freaking what's the word? A not a missile, but like a freaking what's the word? God dang it. Um mower, like a lawnmower, and then on top of that, it's just various different types of weapons that he has created for himself, mainly blunt and dangerous weapons to just anything that he could think of right off the bat when he was just angry and pissed at that situation. And it's like, God dang. So again, that's why I'm saying that Luffy's power doesn't always have to be just honestly environment manipulation per se. It doesn't always have to be environment manipulation. I feel like his power could be used in different ways. Shoot, if anything, if I had to make a callback, he could, if all due respect, he could be like that blue haired one. Oh, my bad for forgetting her name, but she could be like that blue haired woman back in Alabaster with her abilities being similar as rubber, but the only difference is it's just again her body mainly manipulates texture in the sense of hard rubber or hardness in the sense as in well the woman was having like a blue afro, so what she did was she manipulated her hair into spikes. And again, that's me pointing out the fact that shoot, Luffy could technically possibly do the same thing. And if he per se can't 100% harden his rubber alone, doing it with his devil fruit ability, he can technically do it over time using armament hockey or using hockey in general infused with his rubber. It's been shown in Dressrosa with the Doflamingo fight, like earlier in One Piece before they came to Wano. Now, my whole argument with Wano being like physical manipulation over environmental manipulation, with Luffy being a paramecium, is just the fact that well, Wano, everybody strength is just physical. That's about it, really. I mean, when it came to Queen, aside from like zone types being zone types, it's just when Queen faced off with Big Mom, all both of them had essentially was just their physical like prowess. Because long story short, Big Mom was like half of her like caliber at that time when she was fighting Queen. Even though she was half her caliber, she could still wreck Queen's ass right there and then. Like he just got he just got wrecked by a two piece from Big Mom. All she did was just punch him a few times and then just honestly swing him around. That's it. He's done. He's finished. But other than that, yeah, Queen only had just nothing but Stegosaurus or some type of like long neck looking dinosaur form that can hold his ground against Big Mom herself. That's it. Another good example is when King honestly wrecked Big Mom, and all he could do was just go in his pterodactyl form and carry the ship. Honestly, right off the like waterfall, and that's about it as well too. But honestly, that's my whole like theory video and thoughts on Luffy's possibilities of his limitations of his devil fruit ability being pushed to his limits, and honestly his awakening. And if I had to leave one more note, it would be just the fact of Luffy's awakening. Again, like I said before, awakening I would like to say is just it's not always just someone pushing their devil fruit to the brink where they pull out all their abilities into like an environment like how Doflamingo did it or Katakuri did it. No, it's not just that. I don't think it's also physical limitations, and I feel like it's just pushing your body to the brink where you infusing devil fruit more into your body and more into like its capabilities in different ways. Now, the only reason why I say that arguably is just the fact of just many various of examples. It would be just besides Doflamingo and Charakatakuri, a good example would be Big Mom as well too, and arguably any type of zone type user that has their zone type for a long period of time. For one, Big Mom, she has a whole island or a whole like sieve to herself that manipulates that allow her to manipulate different types of homies in certain measurements of her territory. So it's like that's freaking crazy. And her new fruit is a soul fruit. So it's like, damn, it's powerful as hell. Um Now zone types, I already explained what a zone type can do, honestly, in the beginning of the video, but that's about it. Other than that, that's my video. Please leave a like if you liked it, and please subscribe if you like my videos and my recordings. Thank you and bye.